Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Corporal Kim van der Vloot. This evening, we warmly welcome Mr. Joe Slats, representing the Naval Association of Australia. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. For those that are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Poitiers, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to sick Berth Attendant George Maxwell Rowen Poyser. George was born on the 5th of October 1918 in Kensington, Victoria, the second son of Leslie and Ruby Poyser. He grew up in suburban Melbourne with older brother Leslie and a younger brother Alan. The family later moved to the city's southeastern suburb of Caulfield. Little is known about George Poyser's early life other than that he became a linotype operator before the Second World War. With the outbreak of the war, George decided to join the Royal Australian Navy Reserve, signing on and reporting for duty on the 5th of April 1940. Both of his brothers joined the army. George initially went for his training to HMAS Cerberus, located on the Mornington Peninsula, and remained there until early February the following year. During this time, he trained and qualified as a sick berth attendant. Then, on the 3rd of February 1941, he was posted to a warship, HMAS Parramatta. Parramatta was a new 160-tonne Grimsby-class sloop launched on the 10th of June 1939 and commissioned at Sydney on the 8th of April 1940. Armed with 3 4-inch guns, 4 3-pounders, torpedoes and depth charges, her complement was 135 officers and men. Parramatta was under the command of Lieutenant Commander Jefferson Walker. After initial workup exercises, Parramatta sailed from Fremantle on the 29th of June 1940 and shaped course for the Middle East. Over the next 9 months, as part of the Red Sea Force, the ship conducted numerous operations, escorting, patrolling, and mine-sweeping this critical waterway. Apart from the occasional attacks from Italian aircraft, Parramatta's main action was participating in operations against Italian Eritrea, April 1941. The following month, Parramatta transferred to the Mediterranean station. In late June, she made her first run from Alexandria, escorting vital supplies being shipped to the besieged port of Tobruk in Libya, where Australian troops were holding out against German forces. Subjected to heavy air and submarine attack, Parramatta fortunately survived unscathed. The next few months saw Parramatta undertaking less hazardous duties, making escort runs to Cyprus, followed by duty in the Suez Canal zone. On the 18th of November 1941, the Allies launched Operation Crusader, a land offensive aimed at relieving Tobruk. Parramatta again conducted escort duties in support. Despite being subjected to enemy air and submarine attacks, once more the ship returned safely to Alexandria on the 23rd. The pace was relentless and supplies were desperately needed. So 2 days later, on the 25th of November, Parramatta cast off for a return to Tobruk. Around midnight on the 26th, Parramatta, HMS Avonvale, and the ammunition supply ship Han were sighted off the coast of Bardia by a German submarine, U-559. After missing the Han, U-559 fired a single torpedo at HMAS Parramatta, which hit. There were 2 almost simultaneous explosions, the second probably in the magazine as the ship was torn apart. All lighting failed, and Walker, standing on the bridge, only had time to issue the order, "Abandon ship," before she rolled to starboard and sank. Only 24 survived, mostly those who were on the upper decks. 138 officers and sailors were lost. Among them was George Poyser. He was 23 years old. The remains of those lost on HMAS Parramatta that fateful day still lie with the wreck. Their names are commemorated on the Plymouth Naval Memorial in Devon, England. They are also listed on the Roll of Honour to my left among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his name listed on the Plymouth Naval Memorial is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember sick Berth Attendant George Maxwell Rowen Poyser, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
For those that are able, please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They have no grave but the cruel sea. No flowers lay at their head. A rustling hulk is their tombstone, a fast on the ocean bed. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozier, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.